What are you guys doing? Like your boots. What are you guys doing? What are these your dogs?
These two are. She's a foster.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I know. It looks crazy.
Yeah, that's not crazy. Crazy it was 3 cats.
There you go.
Come and join me for a little talk about the majority government that Carney got last night in the by-elections. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Toronto. Stick around. What you doing, Bubba? What you doing, Bubba? Yeah, you hungry? Rained out hard last night, and rain or shine, I gotta come and feed my boy. You little boy? Yeah, I gave him a big dinner, so hopefully he'll go back to bed. That's the plan. Years and years ago, I was in Ottawa for one of my visits during Remembrance Day at the National War Memorial, and it was pouring rain, not so dissimilar to today. And I remember, I didn't have no umbrella because I don't use an umbrella. I remember being in the crowd and lots of people had umbrellas, and there was lots of active duty service members in the crowd, as there usually is at Remembrance Day ceremonies, and people were going up and offering their umbrellas to them, and not one of them accepted it. They stood there with their berets on, their cover, and they got soaking wet. Just a little suffering for the men and women that died in battle. So, men of Canada, if it's raining out, don't use an umbrella. We have a lovely morning in Toronto. It came down like a monsoon last night, but rain or shine, I gotta get out in the morning and go feed my local watchdog. That's been done, and I'm down one of my local parks, and I'm sure by now it is 8:07 a.m. in Toronto. I'm sure by now, if you're up, you've heard the good news that Mark Carney has solidified his majority federal government. Now, he got elected, or he got installed on April 28th, 2025, which is just shy of a year ago. And on the 29th of April, I was saying that he's going to secure a majority government through floor crossers. I didn't think it was going to take a year to do that. I thought it was going to be a little bit quicker than that. But nonetheless, my prediction a day after the election was accurate. And there's going to be more, like I said in my last video. They won all 3 by-elections, Scarborough, Rosedale, University, and Terrebonne. Looks like 2 women of color, or all 3 women of color. The usual liberal suspects for now. Now, you know, in 2 or 3 months, are the Liberals going to be radical enough for the MPs that they've installed? Or are they going to go to the completely flipped upside down NDP because they need something just a little more radical than the Liberals can provide? We'll see. But you know, the way it's been done is obviously undemocratic. I understand that it's legal to do such, but basically the way Canada and a lot of Western countries are being run now, and it's out in the open, it's a merger and acquisition type political system, where you put someone that is a technocrat, a business person, a banker, you install them at the head of the political system under the guise of a president, under the guise of a prime minister, a communist dictator, whatever, a king, queen. Basically, they are not they're not politicians anymore. They are, like I said, they're mergers and acquisitions. So, you know, that fork-tongued lizard Carney, right from the start, I've been saying, right from the start, when his name came to the forefront that he was going to be installed as prime minister, I knew right away with that little fork-tongued lizard smirk that he had on his face that the fix was in. It didn't matter what the voting public did. It didn't matter what scandals they were caught up in. It was just going to go ahead. The installation was going to take place. Now, they didn't acquire the majority government on April 28, 2025 by some fluke. They didn't cheat well enough back in April. They thought they were going to get the majority government back then. but they didn't. But then from that day on, or even prior to that, MPs, conservative MPs were planted within the Conservative Party. The vetting system failed somewhere, and there were Trojan horses, sleeper cells within the Conservative Party that were, you know, under no illusions that they were going to cross the aisle at some point. Now the Liberals, you know, made those crossings at strategic times. Whenever another scandal pops up within the Liberal Party, it seems there's going to be another Conservative floor crosser, and that's going to continue. That's going to continue because there's going to be many, many more Liberal scandals that are being investigated now, I'm sure, and they're going to come to light. And when that happens, there's going to be another Conservative MP crosses the floor. There's going to be more rhetoric that Pierre Poilievre's a weak leader and it's his fault. Can't get along with Milhouse. Can't get along with PP. But that's not the case. The case is the machine that is the Liberal Communist Party of Canada, the globalists. They have the military bought and paid for. They have the police bought and paid for. They have all levels of government paid for, and all levels of media, mainstream media. So to work against that, it's you know, it's like going up a sand dune that's like this. It's you know, you take one step forward and, you know, you're tumbling back 30 steps. So it's a monumental task for anyone. And, you know, people say, well, Poilievre is complicit. He's in with them, and to a certain extent, he is towing the line. I admit that he is towing the line. But, you know, swearing at me and calling me names on my my YouTube channel isn't going to get Pierre Poilievre kicked out. And really, you're not going to get much of a rise out of me either, because I'm kind of used to people that are weak-minded and weak physically trying to take pot shots at me. I talk the talk and I walk the walk. So, you know, I just don't sit behind my keyboard and you know, just spew things out without actually bringing life experience and putting what the Liberal policies from Ottawa have done to a street level in Toronto. So if you want to take a pot shot at me, you better walk a mile in my shoes, and I walk a lot of miles. I walk a lot of miles. I'll do 7K today, and I'm wearing my full rain suit today. So if it's already raining harder earlier when I fed the dog, and I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for that mentally and physically. Then I try to keep current with what's going on in my country, and what's going on in my country is nothing less than a complete tyrannical disaster. Now, I got a text message about 10 minutes ago from a good friend of mine. He's a family guy, beautiful wife, 3 beautiful kids. He's done well for himself. He's living a good life, and we're politically aligned to a very high extent. I have a few close friends that are like-minded, like me. And his, you know, we joke around with each other because, you know, it's locker talk or guy talk or shop talk, whatever. You know, things that got Trump into trouble prior. But, you know, he sent me a quick text saying, let me know about the majority government in case I didn't already know, which, of course, I'm up at 3 in the morning. I know things. And he said, you know, buckle up. Hard times are ahead, buttercup. And, you know, that's the way that close friends talk to one another. And, you know, people that know me, like, I understand, like, he's just saying that. He knows that I'm buckled up, to say the least. I've been buckled up for the best part of a decade, prepared for this, for dark times, and dark times are ahead. You know, you just, many of my videos have touched on the price of groceries, and, you know, I went into, I'm jumping around a little bit here, but I'll get back to Poilievre, and I'll get back to the by-elections in a second. But yesterday I went into Costco's with one of my friends, and I went into a local, I guess you would call it a specialty shop in an affluent neighborhood in Toronto. And it was at Rathburn and Islington, and it's called Thorncrest Foodland. It's a small grocery store, but it is very, very nice inside. They have specialty items in there. They have gourmet items in there. And my friend had been in that store prior, but years and years earlier. So, and he, you know, we all like going into these stores and seeing how the other half lives, so to speak. So you go in there, and we went to the meat section. The first thing we seen was a tomahawk steak for $106. AAA, wasn't even Wagyu. $106 tomahawk. So then we looked around a little bit, and I went to the deli, showed him the nice display of cold cuts and the way they present it. And I go, you know what, I think I'll take a medium-sized container of olives. This is the stuffed pimento olive, not spicy. I prefer spicy. The best olives in Toronto are at California Sandwiches. They're my favorite, and they have pits in them. On a tangent, but they're the best friggin' olives. And I think a container like that at California Sandwiches, maybe around $7-8, maybe 9 at the most. 10, let's go 10 on the high end. And you get quite a few olives in there, and they're delicious. But anyhow, so yesterday, you know, they had a few people working behind the counter. They seemed a little standoffish, a little arrogant. So I go, can I get some of those olives? So the kid goes over and he grabs a small container. I go, no, you got a bigger container than that? And he goes, yeah, I got the one up. I go, fill the one up. So you're not gonna believe this. So he fills it up, and I'm talking, it's about this big. It's about not even a pound, maybe a pound. Let's go with a pound. $23 and change. 23.50 something. I'm like, holy. So anyhow, I'm like, okay, so these better be good olives. And you know, at first too, I thought he was going to give me a sample, but he didn't. Should have. So I get them home. My friend tries one, and we like our olives, and we know good olives. And we look at each other and say, oh, okay, well, they're good, but they're not, you know, didn't knock my onto the floor. So for $23, less than a pound of olives. So you go into a store like that, I understand you're going to get clipped. So on the way out, I tried to talk to one of the kids that work there, and it's almost like, and you know, the kid is his first language is English. Everyone that worked in that store, their first language was English, if you know what I'm saying. And I go up to the kid and I asked him where something was in the store, and he looked at me, and it's almost like I wasn't speaking English to the kid. And I just looked at him, I just shook my head, I walked away. And that's what I find this day and age, when you're trying to communicate, someone my age trying to communicate. This kid was probably around 20 years old, maybe 19. But when you try to talk to that age group, it's like, I don't know if they have you know, a speech impediment. I don't know if they have a language barrier. I don't know if they have coping, something wrong with their coping mechanism. I don't know, but I find that quite a bit. So anyhow, I'm getting to the point. The point I'm trying to get at. I'm at a stage in my life where I'm finding myself shutting down and not wanting to try to verbally interact with people, because the juice isn't worth the squeeze, so to speak. It's frustrating trying to have you know, just a very basic dialogue with someone. It's almost like no one wants to deal with it, so to speak. On the way over to feeding the dog, I'm walking down my street, and I take the same route pretty much every day. And here comes a white liberal Karen walking 2 dogs. I think I've seen her before. So she's coming down the sidewalk with 2 dogs, and it's been raining extensively. There's huge puddles everywhere. I'm geared for that. I'm all waterproof. It's not a big deal. And so I walked on the road. And normally I say hello, I say good morning, I say something to the dogs, because that's just the way I am. Whenever I see a dog, it's almost impossible for me not to acknowledge the dog. The person, yeah, you know, listen, I can be an approachable guy, but I just looked at her, and she's like straight ahead, not even making eye contact with me. And I'm like, holy, this is unbelievable. But I'm finding more and more of that too. So I walked by this white liberal Karen, and of course her 2 dogs are looking at me. They know, because dogs know, they can sense I'm a good guy. And I just walked around the corner, went around the bend, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this, I'm at the point where, you know what, even if they do have dogs, I can't interact with them. People that are other than white people, I will interact with them. They are more approachable, believe it or not. You know how, you know, the way the Western world is going, they've demonized people that look like me, white Anglo-Saxon people, Christian people. And I'm at the point where I'm really starting to hate people that look like me. I know, crazy to say, right? But that's where I'm at. And, you know, I wanna reiterate from one of my videos, a few videos ago, where I said to my contractor friends, to the contractor community that do home renos, that do handyman repairs, that have painting businesses, wallpaper, flooring, whatever, concrete. Listen, I hope you charge a premium for liberals. I really hope you do. And if you're flush, if your business is doing well, maybe you can even skip that customer and try to find someone that's less liberal to work for. That's my wish. If you go into someone's house and you know, and in Toronto, it's, you know, it's a 99% chance they're going to be a white liberal Karen. I hope you're putting a premium on for that. I hope you're tacking a premium, because they deserve it. Their arrogance and their sense of entitlement is becoming very nauseating for someone like myself. There's a picture, I'm jumping here a bit again, getting back to the by-elections. There's a picture of that little fork-tongued lizard Batum, that little weak man, Mark Carney, with the 3 MPs that won their by-elections. And speaking of liberal Karens, and you can see that little shit-eating grin on his face. It's like he knew this was gonna happen. It's like, this guy is not that smart. He's just been put in a position to yield the power. Morning. What are you guys doing? Like your boots. What are you guys doing? What are these your dogs?
These 2 are. She's a foster.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I know. It looks crazy.
Yeah, that's not crazy. Crazy it was 3 cats.
There you go.
Okay, so that white liberal Karen was kind of nice. She's wearing some Union Jack boots too, and she's wearing shorts. She's wearing it's actually quite attractive, but I won't get her on camera. Kind of smitten. So anyhow, that was a good interaction. I'm just telling you, I'm not going to interact with these people, but their 3 dogs are looking at me. What can I do? Dewey has a tough time with the pooches. So yeah, so Carney is with these 3 most recent members of Parliament and the usual suspects. I'll put the picture up. But yeah, so getting back to what my friend said, dark times ahead. Yeah, I've been saying that for a little while. You know, Dewey with the doom and gloom, and yeah, that's the way it is. But at the end of the day, I'm prepared for the doom and gloom. Are you prepared for the doom and gloom? Most people aren't. Most people aren't prepared. They're just riding this out until they get to the end of the road, and the end of the road they're just going to give up because they have no other choice. I got adult male friends that can't make a fucking grilled cheese sandwich. I got adult male friends that can't make a grilled cheese sandwich. I got adult male friends that can't change a car tire. So, what do you think is going to happen to those people? Ladies out there, try to hook up with a man that can change a car tire, at the very least. So, you got anything to add to the comment section, by all means. It's always my pleasure to respond to them. And yeah, if you got any information, by all means put it in, because I learn a lot from you guys as well. A lot of intelligent viewers to my channel, which I'm very grateful for. And yeah, so hey, life goes on. Let's get it going. Talk soon. Bye.